Hey, welcome back. Today we have Sam VerMerris, a student filmmaker here in Rockford, Michigan. We're going to talk a little bit about a short film that he recently made and the process on how that gets put together. So, welcome, Sam. Thanks for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Yeah, and it's nice to be on here.
Yeah, usually Sam works behind the scenes quite a bit, helping out on the podcast. So, it's kind of nice to be in front and
Yeah,
get to talk about what you're passionate about.
yeah, for sure. I'm excited.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you became interested in filmmaking.
So, oh man, go back to like fifth grade ish. Me and my friends were like, I watched this show called MacGyver.
Yeah.
So I feel like you probably watched
That's
it.
my time
Yeah,
period, like when I was a kid.
I really liked that show. I watched like first three seasons in like a couple of weeks. But I like loved like the spy. Like he was like using these random objects to like get things done. I was like, let's make a little movie about MacDiver,
Yeah.
was not trying that hard to like
Be different.
be different. Yeah. I was like, this is what it's inspired from. So we did all that, we filmed it in probably like 2 days. We edited it on like a little iPod
Yeah.
and then we just posted it and we were like, cool, we did that. It was just in the summer. And then a year later or two, we kind of started like, oh wait, we have this YouTube channel with like this thing on it. All right, let's keep making more.
Yeah.
So we just made a bunch of little short films there, mostly like war. My
Okay.
friend had a bunch of like uniforms and like toy guns and stuff. And then we kind of started making like funny skits and stuff. So just a lot of making videos. Like probably, I think there's over 100 that we
Oh
like
wow.
made.
Man, I didn't even know that. I didn't dig around there that
Yeah,
much.
there's a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff on there. I started like getting into other like school programs where I was actually had access to like some nicer equipment other than like an iPhone or something like that. We had audio recording and stuff. And I decided like, okay, if I'm gonna like do this, like it had become a passion of mine at that point. Um, let's just make something. I
Sure.
was free in the winter, after the busyness of the fall that I usually have. And I was like, all right, let's do this. And that's how we came to evening broadcast.
Awesome. So you're in the TV studio and film production at
Yeah.
Rockford schools.
Yeah.
So you're using some of that equipment as possible, but use some of mine, use whatever you can
Yeah.
gather. So it's kind of neat. When we first met, I was looking for somebody to help out with making YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And you had shared with me one of your short films that I thought was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
You and friends running through a field, and you had some special effects in there and stuff.
Yes.
And a little bit of storyline that was cool. So I was kind of impressed. So that brings us today. So your short film that you made, called Evening Broadcast,
Right.
and it's roughly 20 minutes.
About 20 minutes. Yeah.
20 minutes. Tell us about why you decided to do that, and a little bit about the planning process and filming.
Okay. Well, obviously, I decided to do it so I could actually start doing things rather than thinking about it, because I can think about it as much as I want, but until I actually have something to show, I don't have anything.
Right.
So the planning process kind of just came about. I was just like, we were taking pictures after filming a music video for an assignment in my TV studio class,
Mhm.
and it was just from the back seat. And it was like some moody, like driving pictures of two people in a car, and I was like, this could be like a short film. Like we could film it like the whole thing like this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just started writing in my notes app like the general idea, and then it kept expanding, and I had like a whole story.
Right.
Now that is what I had in the beginning in like November, December is nothing like how it actually turned out.
Right.
Because of like weather and like limitations on where we could shoot and what we could shoot, stuff like that. But once I had the actual story, I was able to get like a script writing software,
Mm-hmm.
a free one, and I started writing down the characters and all.
I've got a 1014 suspicious vehicle that stopped at a closed restaurant. Looks like they saw that there was no traffic in the area, then they left. Plate number, Ida, Sam, Adam, 331. Registered in Michigan. Looks like two occupants in a red Ford Explorer.
10-4, stand by, Patrol 1.
Standing by.
Dispatch to Patrol 1, the vehicle is not reported stolen.
10-4, thank you. Have a nice day.
the problem with that scene, which might have actually made it better, because when I first got to the shooting location, it wasn't snowing. But when my friend showed up, he went through the back lot and was covered in snow, like 3 feet deep.
Oh, wow.
And he has a 2-wheel drive car. He got stuck. And everyone starts showing up, everyone else. And we're like, he's stuck. Like, how do we get him out of here? We need his car for this scene. So what we do is we grab a blanket out of the back of my car, put it in between my friend's Jeep and his car, and we just keep ramming him
Oh, no way.
over and over out of the parking lot till he gets free.
Tell us a little bit about some of the filmmaking techniques and what's going on in the scene,
Right.
and kind of why you did some things.
So we started off with like a dolly shot to kind of reveal the location we were at. And it was that abandoned police department I was talking about, I knew about earlier, that I wanted to put in there. So what we used for that was a dolly, and it just started there, and it came in to reveal who was there, the car, who was there, and who was in the car, which is important for the upcoming scene, because you need to know who's in what car to kind of follow what's going on. Most of the other techniques, we attached like GoPros inside the cars while we're driving. Just, they're more durable if they fall off, especially in the cold weather. It was hard to stick them actually onto like metal cars rather than like a heavier like DSLR camera, which would be worse if it fell and is heavier,
Expensive.
more prone to falling.
You have some music going right in the background.
Yes,
That's another thing. Like, you did all the music production on this, I
I
believe.
did, yeah. So I mean, the music was, I don't know, it's really fun for me, especially when I like get it finished, and it's like that piece especially was like very short and like easy to make. Some other pieces were much more like drawn out, and I actually brought in like a violin player to play some of the parts and stuff.
Oh, no way. That's crazy. Cool.
Yeah.
So, let's ready to go into the next one?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's check out the next scene. So yeah, that one's kind of moves the story along a little bit, trying to figure out what in the heck is going on here.
Yeah.
Why is this guy pulling over and driving erratically?
Yeah.
So tell us.
So the challenge with that scene was the amount of takes we had to do, especially when you're like got 3 cars to manage. So basically, if you were watching that while we were filming it, it would have been, we pull off into this side road, attach a bunch of GoPros to one person's car, and we all drive out, run the whole scene again. Like I probably did it 10 times.
Oh wow!
Where I just slide all over the place, and we have to and we're all on this phone call, and all of our cars doing it the whole time. And then even after the GoPros, now I'm getting in each car with the camera, putting it behind people. I'm telling my friends, all right, now get in my car in the back seat. And like they were setting up the cameras. We're out there for probably like 3 or 4 hours just running this over and over again. And it's cold and like the suction cups don't want to work. And but in the end, I have all this coverage of the scene that I can use any which way I want in the edit.
Yeah. And so, because you don't want the cameras to show up in the other shot. So you have to shoot them from different cars, different times.
Yeah.
So, a lot of repetitive stuff. And you start off with a nice drone shot there, kind of establishing that you're out in a real road. Definitely suspenseful there. I'd love the music on that part. Just trying to figure out what's going on, kind of building it. And then you had some quicker cuts in your pacing, with people looking around. And,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So you froze your toes off.
Yeah. It was cold.
in 3 hours of doing that.
Yeah.
So want to get into the third one?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, for a party, there's not much partying going on.
Hey man, I don't know what's going on. Maybe the guy's just not here yet. We might just be early. Yeah, go look for some drinks in the garage.
All right.
Hey, where are you? I got the guy in the garage. This isn't funny. This is what we planned. This is not with the plan. I'll grab him when you guys get here. Whatever. Where are you?
Wow, there's a lot going on in that one. So
Yeah.
So it looks like they've kind of gotten to maybe the party or something, but they're in the house.
Party.
Yeah.
That's what the title of the music is called on Spotify.
Oh, no way.
So yeah, I had that same idea.
So it looks like you did a little acting here as well.
Yeah, so that's where I really had to get involved there and pretend like I kidnapped it. It was hard. It was pretty awkward in that garage to just go with it. I'm like screaming. It's like I'm not actually in that situation. I realized how hard acting was in that moment.
Yeah. You have any neighbors come over wondering what was going on?
No, we kept it pretty low key, I think.
Yeah. So break that open. Like, it looks like they're walking through a garage. The lighting is very dramatic in there.
Yeah.
Maybe did you have to use anything additional or?
Yeah. So we had to take just like a regular stand lamp, and my buddies had to stand up on top of the Jeep on the other side of where the actor was walking.
Yeah.
Because the garage lamp was not bright enough.
Yeah.
So if you got a behind the scenes look, you've got a guy with the gimbal, a guy with the boom mic, and you got a guy with a light, and he has to keep a straight face while he's walking around pretending like, where's the drinks? And I thought it was funny that I put in, he finds the empty Coca-Cola. He does find the drinks.
Yeah.
But surrounded by all this tires, motor oil.
You're right. And he's not kind of the situation he thought he was walking into.
And then I wanted to intercut that with the other guy, his passenger, kind of like giving the audience like, oh, this is the bad guy, which comes into play later.
Yeah.
But he's kind of just talking about like, where are you? Like, we were supposed to do this thing. And then when the music kicks in, which I also was inspired from Tenet with the, that's a scary part in that movie too. Everything kind of coincides where the action happens at the same time for both people.
Yeah. Yeah. I found that pretty interesting. I like the cutting back and forth.
Yeah.
So it kind of builds that suspense and all it's coming to a head at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So Anything interesting in particular? Any other challenges in that particular scene? Or go ahead.
It took probably a month for that whole thing because we filmed the one garage scene
Mhm.
and then we had to wait because people were either busy or it was like we were trying to film other things, or I had to rewrite that whole ending
Okay.
because, like I said before, it was going to be in like a church back lot.
Yeah.
So I rewrote it to be in my house, and then I had to rewrite it again for us to actually like be in the hallway, which that leads to at the end. So it's just like with rewrites and weather and people's availability, it took like a month. But we also filmed most of that in the daytime,
Okay.
even though it
Looks dark.
looks dark and it feels dark. So it was just a long process of getting everybody together, the materials and all that.
Right. Yeah. Always a lot going on there.
Yeah.
It's a pretty ambitious project, like really for a short film, and 20 minutes is fairly long for a short.
Yeah.
When you have so many, multiple different scene locations, weather issues,
Exactly. Yeah.
actors you got to pull together that are, part-time friends,
Yeah.
like that probably work jobs in school. And
Yeah. And that's like, I mean, I went big for the first one, and now for these like upcoming things, I'm dialing it back to like one scene, but I feel like I have all this experience that I can actually like,
Yeah.
like it's a weird feeling to describe where you feel like you have all the experience. So now I'm gonna dial it back, and if I
Mhm.
wanted to try that again, I would like, because I'm focusing on these small things
Mhm.
in these littler films, then that would be like, it could even be like a feature film.
Yeah. Yeah. Add your scenes together and
Yeah.
stack them on top of each other. So, like, what are some of the takeaways that you learned from this project, from the struggles and just going through it?
Uh, the most important one is just perseverance.
Yeah.
A lot of times, that one scene you were talking about from the little movie I showed you when we first met, we never finished that project because it was like a continuation almost of the MacGyver that we started. It
Okay.
was going to be like a longer form, and we started shooting that whole thing twice,
Mhm.
and we got to like a midpoint, and then we just never finished it.
Sure.
And it was with that same group of guys. So I was like, we're going to finish this. And it was hard because, people are busy and the weather, it's like, at some point, we're not going to have snow anymore. And then it's going to be weird to finish it. Like, are we going to come back next winter? And like, I don't think that's going to happen. So just like pushing everybody to like do it and like galvanizing people to be motivated to do it, especially when it's like a snow day. It's like, I don't want to go out and like freeze my toes off. So being like a people person and leading people to do that was a very important skill that I still have yet to develop.
Yeah. It's a great lesson. I think there's probably a lot of things that you might not even articulate that'll pop back in later because
Oh yeah,
it's just experiential now.
yeah,
So as you do the next one, it's like, oh yeah, we can do it this way.
yeah. And it's just all those little things, all those techniques, and like, oh, I can do it this way. I can do it this way. If I do it this way, it'll come out like this in the final product. But if I do it like this, it'll come out. Just how I want to tell the story is,
Right. So it'll help you planning probably.
yeah, for sure.
You'll be able to plan more efficiently
Yeah.
on the next one because you can now foresee potential issues that
Yes.
might come up and you can handle them before they become issues.
Yeah, some things that I didn't think would be issues definitely became issues, and I now know how to handle those in the future.
Yeah. Awesome. So did you, send this to any film festivals or any contests or anything like that?
I sent it to a couple film festivals. The one I'm most glad it got accepted into was the Michigan Student Film Festival, where it earned an excellence award. Due to some of its natures,
Sure.
couldn't go further into but that is the highest award below like winning the whole thing.
Yeah. And
So,
it sort of has some adult content, I guess,
yeah,
in terms of not sexual adult content,
Yeah.
but from R-rated
violence and also
violence.
maybe like confusing nature, which is part the story's fault. But as a story writer and then as a like on the technical side, I've grown a lot from this.
Yeah. Awesome. So what's next for you?
Right now, it's a lot of shorter, like 5-minute things. I recently did one with my friend about a guy who is asking a girl to prom, but he overthinks everything. So he
Mhm.
kind of goes through all these different like scenarios in his head, and it's like a musical montage almost intercut by like story.
Okay.
It's just like 5 minutes long. It was just a little fun thing to put out for prom. And then this next one that I'm currently in the editing process of and filming more on Thursday is called Sonder. It's like a dialogue set, but it has a little twist with the abilities that one character has.
Okay. Cool. Exciting. Looking forward to seeing those. Um, so, I think one thing we talked about earlier, you're helping me out, but you got any projects this summer or looking for any internships or I know you mentioned looking for maybe like a PA position or something like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I would love a PA position. I would love to work with people who are like they do it for their job because I would
Yeah.
love to do this, as a career, and learn things that maybe I don't have resources to actually learn. Like there's things I don't have access to that I can't learn about if I don't have access to them. Maybe I can watch a video about it, but learning comes from experience.
Yeah. So if anybody out there is looking for um, an adventuresome, upcoming, promising PA or intern or somebody that wants to just help out, probably a good person worth reaching out to. You can always reach out through the video and we can connect you with Sam. So awesome. Look forward to seeing your next short film projects. And thanks for watching. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
They tell me that I'm never gonna make it.